name is Scott for SB Gaming. We're back here in Prison Architect. And for this episode, we are going to jump into the campaign. There are a total of 5 of them. And the first one is Death Row. And for those who have played this, this is, from what I understand, the intro to Prison Architect when it was in alpha. And then there's 4 others. This one, I think, basically has to do with... Yep. We've been contracted to build an execution chamber at this prison in time for the scheduled execution of one of their inmates. So we are going to jump into it. That looks to be our convict. And CEO, this is a tough one. There's a prisoner incarcerated at this facility who's been convicted of a double murder and sentenced to death. That's where we come in, and we've been contracted to construct an execution chamber in time for the guy's big day. Alright about that. And I'm guessing this is where we build it. This is where I want the new facility to be built. Okay. The first step with any project like this is to construct the building itself with enough space inside to fit an execution room and a holding cell. So let's get started. Construct a new building here. We will also need an entrance to the new execution facility. Build a large jail door into the south wall. And so, yep, pretty much this is a tutorial on how to build. And anyone who's played the game, probably, I guess it doesn't really matter, has probably done this. So we will lay down the foundations and large jail door. Let's take the CEO's call. Your workmen are responsible for the construction of buildings. They'll collect the steel and concrete from the storeroom and take it to the construction site. They'll use those raw materials to build the foundations and framework of your new building. This is the slowest part of construction, so you should plan ahead when building new facilities. While we wait, take a look around, use wands or the arrow keys to move around, and use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Alright about that. So yeah, anyone who has played this pretty much knows what's going on here. So we have cells here, shower room, kitchen. There's the administration block. We have a power station here, canteen, storage. Here's a cell block, showers, another cell block here, and construct a building. Alright, inside the building I want a cell and an execution room. Partition the space by constructing some brick walls. Materials. Do we have to use brick wall? Brick wall, brick wall. And 4 tasks to build internal walls. Come on, guys. We have $616,000 in the bank. And we have a daily cash flow of 28.77. Let's go up to speed 3, since of course we are just waiting on them to get this finished. There we go. Now add large jail doors to those dividing walls. You can rotate an object before placement by clicking the middle mouse button or press R. Really? Middle mouse button. I actually did not know. Yep. Alright. So, we'll wait for our workmen to get that done. That's looking good. We now need to designate rooms within those spaces. Designate a cell in the smaller area where our condemned inmate will live. Then designate the execution room itself in the larger area. Designate an execution room. And cell. Those new rooms have requirements before they become functional. The cell needs a bed and a toilet. The execution room requires the electric chair. Let's put the bed in. Let's put a toilet in. And the electric chair. And of course, wait for our workmen to get on that. The execution room is complete, and the cell is complete. Slow time down. That's the essentials taken care of, but there are still a few improvements you could make. It's up to you, though. These aren't strictly required. It depends on how much you care about your prisoners and their environment. The cell itself could be improved with an outward-facing window and a small bookshelf. And the facility would look better with a higher quality floor material like wooden floorboards or mosaic tiles. Outside you could add some lighting and a paved pathway if you think it needs it. Alright, about that. This is the man in question, Edward Romsey. Teacher once, would you believe? It's not our place to decide if he deserves this. The law has made that decision. We're just here to do a job. Once you are satisfied the facility is ready, you can begin the prisoner transfer to his new cell. Simply click on the Polaroid in his cell to initiate the transfer. So that right there. Click to trigger the next chapter of the story. Alright, so we have yard time. And I'm surprised that they didn't update this so that he would be in black and he'd actually be... we can't even click on him. Can't see his bio or anything. Anyway, yeah, let's paving stone. Okay. Let's just add some paving stone. And window. Light. Bookshelf. Let's put a bookshelf there. And I'm just going to put white tiles in the execution room. Let's put in, not paving stone, concrete tiles here and here. We'll put metal floor in the cell. I could probably move on to the next segment of the story, but for now, let's just play around with this. We have here, this is the regime. We pretty much only have, was it minimum security or medium security? Oh, we do have one MacLeod. We only have one maximum security prisoner, it looks like. Yep. One maximum security. and a whole lot of medium security. And so that looks like that has been completed, and okay, it's waiting on a bookshelf. What, does it want me to put in more lights? It's flashing at me. Anyway, let's speed this up. Really? Alright. Anyway, let's come back into here and click on the Polaroid. Incoming call from the chief. Don't shed one tear for this guy. He's a stone-cold killer, guilty as charged. He even confessed. Want to hear his description of what he did? It's juicy stuff. It was around 11 p.m. The lights were already on. I knew she was home. So we are going to get the story of what happened. Interesting. I wonder if these are items you can put in your game. I knew I'd catch you two here. Edward's wife, Susan. Edward, don't. Just don't. What are you going to do? Well, what do you think? And they're both dead. And there goes Edward. Well, it was a crime of passion. Clear as day, if you ask me. Deserves every volt he's gonna get. All men deserve forgiveness, even him. Are you so sure in yourself that you can deal out such final judgment? Catching your wife with another man is no excuse for what he did. Really? Some people would think otherwise. And he went there with a loaded gun, knowing he'd find them together. That's double premeditated murder. He's done nothing but cooperate with the authorities. The state is making an example of him. If he'd committed his crime 100 miles north, he'd be looking at life imprisonment and said, how is that justice? Do you want a guy like this running free? I'll sleep just fine at night when I know he's gone. Yeah, it's rather interesting that in one area you get one punishment, in another area you get another punishment. The CEO, good work so far. However, there is one problem. The execution room isn't functioning yet because it doesn't have any power. Well, you could have told me this. We need to connect it to the electrical supply. We are now viewing the prison in utilities mode, which shows us the electrical wiring layout for the entire prison. This section of the prison isn't even getting power. Huh. Each building in the prison is connected to the power grid by these thick underground electrical cables. Power is provided to the prison by this substation, which draws electricity from the national grid. As you can see, this entire wing of prison cells is without power. All the lights are out. To fix this problem, we first need to switch into utilities mode to understand why the lights are without power. You know, I thought this was all about Edward and the execution. Why we have to deal with this, or why this is coming up now. Anyway, the nearest electrical cables are too far away. Our engineers can't complete the wiring for this area. Extend the electrical cables nearby to cover this wing of the prison. Yep, this is basically a tutorial. Gonna do that, and I actually might as well just extend it all the way down to here to connect up the electrical chair. Let's put it on speed 3. And wait for our workmen to finish up the task. Those have power now. Slow down speed 1. Incoming call. Lights aren't the only thing that needs power. Your new electric chair does too. Use the power cables to connect the execution facility to the power grid. The electric chair itself is a special type of electrical item. It requires its own dedicated power line. You'll need to connect it up directly with mains cables. Didn't I already do that? There we go. Oh, no. We got one more to do. Yep. Come on, guys. How many workmen do I got here? I got 14 workmen. The CEO, incoming call. We are almost done, I think. We should test the new execution room at least once before we try to use it, though. That would be really good. Just going to turn it on for a few seconds, make sure everything is okay. Let me guess, we're going to need to add some more capacitors. Yep. How did I guess? Well, that didn't work. Looks like we drew too much power and tripped a circuit breaker in the power station. The whole prison is dark. Lovely. We're going to need more juice to be able to handle the power spike that the electric chair generates. First, we need to turn the power back on. This is a two-step process. Switch the power station back on by clicking it and selecting switch on in the menu that appears. Then build 3 more capacitors so we have enough power capacity to handle the electric chair. Once you've done that, you test the electric chair again by clicking on it and selecting switch on in the menu. Let's switch on. Oh, wait a minute. 2, 3. Yeah, it's working. Let's speed up to speed 3. That's the only task our 14 workmen actually have for to do. Come on, guys. What are you waiting for? Test the chair again. Click on it, and select switch on. Incoming call. Well done. I believe we are finished with this job. What happens now is out of our hands. We did a professional job, and that's important in our business. Try not to worry about what happens next. Priest, can I help you? Edward. Are you looking for forgiveness? I don't know. I have to do something. I can't live with the things I've done. You have to turn yourself in. Whatever you've done, you cannot evade the consequences. You'll never be able to live with yourself until you face up to your past. I want to go back. I want to forgive her. I want her to forgive me. God will forgive you no matter what you have done if you ask him to. Oh dear. Anyway, but you must answer for your crimes in the eyes of the law. There is no other way. It is time, Edward. You have done the right thing, even though this world will not forgive you for it. You will be with God soon, and he will have the final judgment on you. Edward Romsey, you have been found guilty of 2 counts of murder in the 1st degree. The penalty is death. Do you have anything to say? Susan, I'm sorry. Chapter 2, Palermo. Alright, at this point, I think I'm going to take a break here. I did not want to jump into the 2nd chapter, so we are going to... Can I... Seriously? Anyway, I am going to take a break here. Let's see, yep. Campaign, so... In the next episode, we see here Palermo, a massive fire has destroyed this prison's kitchen and canteen. If we don't find a way to feed the inmates quickly, we'll have a full-scale riot on our hands. Solve the food crisis, then rebuild the kitchen and canteen. Anyway, that is going to come up in the next episode. Other than that, thank you for watching this episode of Prison Architect. My name is Scott for SP Gaming, and as always, have a good day.